Hola, yo soy Cristina Tenorio de Alfa 91.3 y hoy estoy para platicar de uno de los mejores discos de este 2017 que es Everything Now. Estoy con Will Butler de Arcade Fire. Hey!
Hello.
How are you, Will?
Good, how are you?
Fine, thank you. I mean, we talked a few months ago, just a week before the release of Everything Now on the telephone. And I was waiting for you to come so we could chat. I told you I want to chat with you, and here we are. So, first of all, yesterday, on the first gig here in Mexico, tell me the truth. Did you look to the crowd in the eye? Because I saw your Twitter poll. I saw your Twitter poll and it said, I quote, "How much eye contact should a performer make with the crowd?" So did you really
30 to 60%.
I mean, or did you only pretend to make it?
No, it's such a good crowd. I mean, we had very high expectations. We thought, Mexico City is going to be a very good show. And those expectations were met and exceeded. Yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful night and a beautiful room and everything.
I mean, you could say that it was hilarious, your Twitter poll, but to me it was like really getting into the mind of you as a performer, like what else you have to think about the guitars and everything. You have to be just your mindfulness in this.
Yeah.
But tell me about when you're on stage, which song is the one that gives you the goosebumps whenever you perform it live? Just one.
Sprawl 2.
Why?
It's a good song.
Yeah.
And it kind of, to me, it's that perfect Venn diagram of dance and emotion where you feel there's something very deep and human about it, but people can also just nod their heads or dance or twirl, and it always works. Like every crowd always is bright-eyed for it.
Okay, when I heard Everything Now record, the one that gave me the goosebumps was Electric Blue.
Oh, cool.
Well, I was like, it was just a well-thought song and mind-blowing, and it's such a sad song.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know that this song, well, you said in an interview with The Sun that this had to do a lot with David Bowie and Prince dying.
Mm-hmm.
So if David Bowie was still with us and you could invite him to join in one of Everything Now song, which one would you choose?
Oh, goodness. Maybe Electric Blue. Like, I actually think, because there's also enough space for him to be on it. Like, it's one of our more open songs, and I actually think he could bring something to it.
Okay, and about this song Electric Blue, you also said you couldn't make this, maybe you couldn't have made this song 10 years ago because you were not as good musicians as right now, which I think it's false, but...
But in a technical sense, like we are technically more proficient. Our fingers are faster and stronger and things like that.
Okay, and what did you learn about yourself as a musician and as a person in this new record?
Well, we recorded it all in a room smaller than this, for the most part.
Okay.
And so I learned just how beautiful the connection is between us. I've been playing with Jeremy for more than a decade, and Jeremy's such a good drummer. And then to be able to give and receive between Jeremy, between Richie, between Wynn, Regine, just there's this history that is actually, you can feel it in how you react musically, which is great.
And there's a lot of sounds, and I can hear everyone wanted to put their little print there in every song. So there were many ideas, many people working on it, like you guys also, Thomas from Daft Punk. Which was the most challenging song for you to make as a whole group?
I mean, Everything Now, we had the most confidence that it would turn out, but we did it 1,000 different ways. We did it in 1,000 different moods, and more acoustic and more electric and disco and not disco, and that was the one we worked and needed and baked the most. But we knew it would turn out. I mean, something like Put Your Money on Me, it's harder to know if the pieces will all come together, and then they suddenly do, and you're like, oh, it's a song again. Yeah. It was a song, and then we broke it, and now it's a song again. But Everything Now was hard because we knew it would work. We just didn't know how, and we just had to keep hammering it.
From the first time I heard Everything Now, it's to me, personal, my favorite song of 2017.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but I was really mad as a fan also because I wanted to look for reviews, but most of the reviews were focusing on the marketing strategy and not on the music. Did you bother? Does that bother you that reviews were talking more about the marketing strategy?
I found it interesting as an anthropologist, so I learned a lot from it. I mean, I worked on the record for 2 years, so how I feel about the record, it'd be very hard for a review to affect what I think, but I found it very interesting anthropologically. I mean, there were upsides and downsides. I probably would do the marketing differently just because I think it interfered with how some people heard the record. Not all, but I think I also think for a lot of people it enhanced the record because it did build the world, and I think a lot of people got it and thought it was really great. But I'm sad that for some people it was a distraction. I might do the same again, but I'd think about it.
But it's just that people don't look further than what they see.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I saw the Everything Now Corp and the ads, and the ads were fake ads.
Yeah.
And to me, it was so genius, this strategy. I mean, it was really art for me. But as you said, maybe people don't look for further than what they got there, right?
Yeah. Which is, and people are busy.
Yeah, well, really busy in social media. And yesterday in social media, I saw some of the videos where you say goodbye on stage in Mexico with mariachi. And I know it was very emotional, but talking about just one moment in this tour, which one is the most emotional to you?
The most emotional of the tour?
Yes, of this tour.
I mean, we've played a couple shows in heavy places. We played in Las Vegas. We played in the hotel where the shooting happened, and in Manchester. We played in Manchester, not in the same venue where the bombing happened, but just being in Manchester and playing music felt you could feel it from the crowd.
Yeah.
Because the emotion doesn't come from us, it comes from the city and it comes from the crowd. And so those two places particularly were very strong and very heavy. I mean, a place like Mexico City was just pure joy, and you feel that, and it's a real elation, and there's something really beautiful about that as well. Okay,
and just the final question, from this everything nowness and newness world, if you could just choose 2 moments of your career with Arcade Fire and put them in a time capsule so it wouldn't miss a single detail, which 2 moments would that be?
I mean, one of them would have to be early, trying to think what would be. Actually, the first time we played Coachella in 2005, it was sunset in the desert, and there was a sea of people, and it was beautiful. And it was kind of our first massive show. And there's been many small, intimate shows that have been equally beautiful, but something about that in the desert with the full moon rising as the sun was setting. There was something about that was really beautiful. And I'm trying to think of a second moment. I mean, we had David Bowie come into the studio a couple times and working with him on Reflector, but those moments with David Bowie were very special, and I'll really treasure them. Both him, he came to his shows on Funeral early, and then we recorded the Reflector part with him, and James Murphy was there and had never met him, and we were there. There was something really beautiful about that as well. Okay, well, thank you very much, Will, for this chat, and I'm waiting for the show tonight. Yeah, so I'm going to be spinning a lot. Thank you. Esta fue la entrevista con Will Butler de Arcade Fire para Alfa 91.3, donde todo nace.